Chapter 1. Pete's last day in lockup. Spokane County Jail. Malin Street. Friday, October 10th, 2014, 5:47 a.m.
"Hey, Pete," said Hondo. "Wake up, man. It's your last day."
Pete was still groggy from the previous evening's dose of psych meds. He stirred a bit and rolled over onto his left side, mumbling lightly, incoherently from the top bunk in the 8x12 concrete block cell painted, crackled neutral eggshell white. The overhead lights, partially covered with newspaper pages adhered with toothpaste, had been on since 5 a.m. since the guard's shift change.
"Come on, buddy boy," said Hondo. "It's almost time for head count. I think we got sugar snaps and grits for breakfast today."
Ugh, moaned Pete. I ain't in the mood. Fuck those slimy-ass grits.
"Oh, what's the matter? The world outside seeming more grim than it did yesterday, ain't it? Don't worry, you'll be fine. It'll just take a little while to get acclimated to the real world. Happens to the best of us. You'll either make it or you won't. No point ruminating and getting yourself all worked up about it. What happens outside is gonna happen irregardless."
Pete groaned and sat up on the same bunk he'd spent the majority of the past year occupying against his will. He wiped a thin layer of crust from the corners of his eyes and looked around what had essentially become his home. And what a depressing home it was, wall to wall covered in penciled graffiti from Pete as well as inmates long past and forgotten. He would not miss the gigantic crudely drawn vagina plastered across the ceiling. For a year he had wondered, how the fuck did that even get up there? It was signed Pony Montana in staggered, ill-proportioned letters of varying size. Pete swung his legs over the side of the bed and slid down to take a quick leak. Hondo politely turned away whilst Pete finished his morning business. "The first thing I'm gonna do," said Pete as he zipped up the front of his Orange County issued jumpsuit. "The first thing I'm gonna do when I get out the jail is smoke a goddamn cigarette. Yes, I'm gonna go to the store, buy a pack, buy a 40, then go get some weed."
"Everyone says that," said Hondo. "And you know what's nice? That girlfriend of yours, Sherry, kept putting money on your books all this time. Shit, my old lady never did that. Nah, she just run off and fucked some other guy till I came back." Yeah. Well, I guess my point is, at least she came back."
"Right.
Lot of motherfuckers around here, man. When they get out, they got nothing. Not a goddamn thing. But look at you. You got something concrete. Something physical to keep you grounded while you go on and make your transition from this shit back into the gen pop of the real world again. Because this shit we've been eating ain't the real world. It is a falsehood, a Darwinian fabrication of humanity, created by the government to restrain those deemed dangerous and uncontrollable. Only the strong survive, etc. It's a society that chaotically reestablish itself through alpha male dick waving. It's Lord of the Flies, only with more loose tobacco and deadly hard narcotics smuggled in through anuses or boofed if you want to try and get cute about it.
Just like you, Hondo, to be philosophizing first thing in the dang morning. I barely caught a word that came running out of that fucking loud mouth of yours."
"Well, I hope that brain retains some of that knowledge I've tried as an elder to impart on you. Because if you're just gonna go out and do the same thing that landed you in here, what was the point of leaving in the first place?"
"What was the point of leaving? To get the fuck out and raise some hell? Maybe get a job somewhere doing, I don't know, something productive? Maybe construction? Who knows? I haven't been out of jail and off probation at the same time since before I turned 18. This will be a whole mess of fun."
"I bet it will. Meanwhile, I'll keep your bunk warm for you, supposing you'll be back before the end of 2-3 months tops."
"Fuck you, Hondo. Suck my dick.
Goddamn little peckerwood. No respect."
"Who knows? Maybe in time I'll miss even you haggard-looking stank-ass son of a bitch. Now, on second thought, no, I won't. Never mind." Pete slipped on his ill-fitting shoes that were placed rather tidily under the bottom bunk, and went over to the facsimile of a window, a small blurred panel at the back of the cell, the same panel he watched 4 seasons go by through. All one could ascertain from gazing through this pointless turned-over rectangular portal was whether it was day or night or not. "Yes, sir, Hondo. I'm getting out of this nightmare finally, and tonight I'm gonna really race some hell. It's been long overdue," said Pete. "Fuck this place and fuck the shit stem. Uncle Sam can suck these nuts," laughed Pete, grabbing at his crotch, as would a half-assed Marky Mark. "So you're gonna go over and see your old man then?" "Hell no. Fuck that guy, that worthless steaming sack of crap." "I'm sure you'll run into him sooner or later, and when you do, tell the old man I said hi when you see him, and tell him I'll be out in 90. "You'll do that standing on your head." "I sure will. Say, Petey, think you can leave me that Walkman of yours when they let you out?" "Yeah, I guess. This thing ain't got no reception as it is." "And maybe you can let me get an Ativan when meds come around?" "Now you're pushing it, you old fart." "Can't blame a man for trying now, can you?" "No, I guess not." Being released from custody was a process, and that process took all day. Pete spent that time picking paint off the wall and offering goodbyes to a few of the other inmates. Though don't get the idea that any of them were his friends. Sure, he knew a lot of them, though they weren't his bros or anything. One thing they were, though, were potential customers. So he made it a point to obtain numbers where fortuitous. Jail sure was an excellent place to make contacts. Boy, howdy. He got held up, though. 4 hours passed, and nobody had come to pick him up. They would not let him out unless someone came to get him. That person was Sherry. She only lived about 1.5 miles from the jail, on the north side of Spokane, just across a river. It did not surprise Pete. Sherry always had a case of chronic lateness. Her high school guidance counselor put it differently. Mr. Svennings repeatedly used to say, "You've got a serious case of chronic tardiness." Nobody liked the sound of that. Chronic lateness is a hallmark of methamphetamine abuse, something Sherry had no issue at all admitting to. Upon being confronted, she would oftentimes say something to the tune of, "Yeah, I'm always fucking late, and yeah, I'm fucking high as shit. I don't give a fuck who knows. I'm high right now. I just smoked with my mom. She gives it to me. You got a problem with that, motherfucker? No one else does. Why should you?" Sherry was a real catch. Nevertheless, Pete and Sherry had been hopelessly entangled romantically for many a year. They were both horrible for each other. But so far, love had conquered all. Still, that did not stop Pete from cursing her name when she was late picking him up. Immediately upon release, Pete began to fall through the cracks of society once again, and of course that was no surprise to anyone. The night he got out, Pete and Sherry both got wasted, full-blown shit-hammered on dope at her mom's house on Boone Street in Felony Flats, West Central. Yes, though while Sherry was out at the store fetching more canned butane, Pete said he was too paranoid to go out in public. Pete forgot himself. Yes, young Scarborough thought it would be a great idea to start pissing on the carpet right in front of old Geraldine, whilst she watched Law and Order SVU Iced Tea Edition, which is what she called it. Wasted no time in fucking up, that boy did. "Pete," spoke Geraldine, stammering somewhat with anxious uncertainty. "Boy, you have got to be kidding me." She slowly got up off the couch, trembling under her own voluminous bulk. She lumbered over towards Pete, adjusting her glasses and then readjusting them again in morbid disbelief. "Are you—" "Get the fuck out of my house!" screeched Geraldine with the Swiss cheese meth facial. She chased him out the house and thereafter through the doorway and onto the porch with an unspeakably filthy spaghetti mop. Pete ducked and dodged nimbly, laughing madly at her failed attempts. He taunted her further, flipping her off with both middle fingers and sticking his white thrushy tongue out. His drunken master alacrity did not last long, though. When Pete went to descend the small wooden staircase off the porch, he fell and slid down it like a slip and slide. He was so drunk, though, that he shrugged it off. utterly ignorant of the damage incurred until he felt a trickle of blood drip down his back and into the lining of his boxer shorts. Even so, Pete chose to remain in the yard, and as such, Geraldine remained on the porch, continually swinging the mop in an uneven, jerky figure-8 motion, threatening to call the police. "Don't think I won't think twice about having your ass locked up tonight, Pete." "Fine, I'll go," muttered Pete, drunkenly staggering around the mortifying unkempt front yard full of branches and decaying lawn debris. He was unaware of it, but he stepped in dog shit more than once. "If that's how you want to treat people," sloppily said Pete, pointing an accusing finger at his girlfriend's mother. "How you want to treat people? How you treat people? Fuck, something to that effect." "Go back to Airway Heights and tell them you need to go back in because you ain't done yet, you nasty little bastard," yelled Geraldine, climbing slowly down the porch, supporting herself on the dingy handrail. "I wasn't even at Airway fucking Heights," Pete retorted. "Who gives a shit which jail or what jail yuz was rotting in? I said get the fuck out." Pete ducked and dodged the mop as Geraldine repeatedly swung it forcefully at him. He said, "Fine, I'll go." And he finally walked off into the frigid evening. It was on that night, after a long and pointless circular walk around the city, that Pete finally located the Odyssey out in a desolate parking lot nearby the Mission over near Trent Hamilton neighborhood. Pete hesitated for a myriad of minutes as he struggled with his own inward debate, standing outside his father's RV. Do I or don't I? Should I or shouldn't I? Eventually, the old man, he stumbled out with Hitler the cat in tow. The old man exhibited a treacherous frown of disdain opposite of Pete, whom swayed with the faintest quavering grin, saying, "How's it going, old man?" asked Pete.
Shitty. My back feels like every waking fucking moment. Or my back feels like hell every waking fucking moment,"
he said, rubbing his lumbar area.
"So they finally let you out, eh?"
"Yes, sir."
"Fucking idiots."
"I know, right?"
Can't believe it's been a whole year already."
"Well, you know how time flies when you're having fun."
"So, I guess you're gonna want to come in."
"Sure. I think we got a lot of catching up to do."
"You're damn right, son,"
said the old man as he turned and beckoned for Pete to follow.
"Say, I feel stupid for even asking, but do you got a job?"
"Nope," Pete said as he entered through the rickety screen door and closed it shut behind him, making sure to slide the latch and lock it tight. "Not at all."
Make sure you lock that door behind you."
"I already did."
"Are you sure?"
the old man asked. He turned slightly and looked over his shoulder to visually confirm that Pete had indeed done what he had done. "Yes, goddammit, Dad, you're already starting."
"Bah! It's just how the old man is. That's how my brain's wired. Deal with it or go fuck yourself and get the fuck out my camper."
"I'll deal with your shit the way I feel like. And if that means I've got to slap you around a little, then so be it, old man. I ain't playing with you no more."
"Uh-huh. Is that so, huh?"
"Yep."
"Sounds like you got a bit harder while yuz was in lockup."
"Maybe I did."
"Guess that means I shouldn't fucks with you as much."
"Might be a good idea, old man."
You know, I was just reading about this way to make Opana out of my Percocets."
"No shit?"
"Yeah, just need a bit of blue palladium."
"The fuck is that?"
"I don't know. I have no fucking idea. Some crazy shit," he said, shrugging.
And then after that night, officially, it was on. All bets were off. Whoever had a problem with it, well, fuck 'em to hell and back.